Well, hello everyone. It's that beautiful time of year. Top 10 list, top 5 list, best of the world list. Let's look back on the past 100 years and see what the most significant moment was. It was probably Half-Life 2. No, it was probably the end of World War II. But anyway, we're going to be doing the same thing. We will be indulging in that. You'll be seeing individual lists from both Max, Tara, and myself, and we will somehow get into a room without killing one another completely and tell you what we collectively believe to be game of the year. So just keep your eyes peeled. They'll be coming out in the upcoming weeks. I begin with that because I was actually quite surprised about something over the weekend. The VGAs, which is something that I have kind of an on and off again relationship with. I have never gone, nor have I participated. It may have had something to do with working with an employer that may have been in direct competition with them. Oh, who knows? Anyway, check some of the stuff out at home, but I was so surprised to see what wins Game of the Year. The Walking Dead from Telltale Games. I would never have thunk it. And not even just by VGA standards. I'm talking about the standards of a lot of outlets that, we tend to go to what's that big name game, that AAA game. It brings with it a sense of weight. It tends to pacify a lot of the audience out there. So it was very interesting and refreshing to see Walking Dead actually take home that big fat award. Now, I'm not going to talk about the merits of the game or whether or not it deserves it. I think one can make an argument that it should or that it shouldn't. But as with all things, when something definitive happens on the internet, it is not received with like a chorus of applause. Obviously, a lot of people were saying, well, Walking Dead isn't a game. And that's the really interesting question. What is a game? I've spoken about this in the past, and I think this is a great time to bring it up again. We've used games to cover things as diverse as Tetris and Skyrim. And in the broadest way possible, there's a moment of digital action interacting with the digital. That would somehow be the one correlating factor by calling these things a game. I mean, let's point it out that the other term that people are kind of leaning to, which is interactive entertainment, it suffers from the same semantic problem because if you really think about it, kick the can is interactive entertainment. There's an interaction between a shoe and a can, and ostensibly people enjoyed it once upon a time in the Depression. So let's go back to Walking Dead. The big argument that somehow it isn't a game is that it doesn't have that sense of, I guess, challenge. You're not trying to test skill on the level that you do in a more traditional game like a Pac-Man or a Call of Duty. But once again, we've seen a lot of examples where that's not really happening as well. Two of the most popular games of the year, in my mind, by popular I mean I love them, Unfinished Swan and Journey. Once again, don't present that same type of challenge. They offer something that's closer to an experience that is based upon your interactivity with it. And I think a core of games is they give a sense of illusion. Even games that are challenging, they are trying to present a notion of challenge that may be less than what's really happening under the hood. I go back to the first Halo game, Combat Evolved, and it was like, wow, they really know what I'm doing. Well, no, the game doesn't really know what you're doing. They just have very clever, concentric circles of AI that can be triggered that really gives the illusion that they're somehow flanking you and grouping on you based upon how you're playing the game. And in that, I think that The Walking Dead gives this absolutely sort of amazing illusion that you're interacting with something and you're helping shape the narrative, inform how it goes. And in that, it's actually quite consistent with a lot of games that are out there this year. And as a result, I find it deeply satisfying. It does things differently than other sort of choose your own narrative games. Obviously, the biggest one being Mass Effect 3. I absolutely love the idea that the game identifies to you very clearly when you've made a certain decision that will somehow have ramifications further on down the line. If you haven't gotten a chance to play it, I would definitely say check it out. I would also warn you, you might want to break it up over several days. All 5 episodes are available now, and I tried to do a marathon and found myself really feeling depressed, lonely, and scared of things that didn't exist. But it is something to discuss and to really get your heads wrapped around about what a game is supposed to be. I mean, is it really just a sense that I have a score, I can prove something, and I can brag to my friends? Or is it something, not just with Walking Dead, but with a game like Unfinished Swan, where I kind of give myself over to the game, have an experience, not know where it's taking me, and in the end, really not have to render judgment on if it was good or bad, but what was it like going through it all those hours? All right. So I have an announcement. No, it's not the name of this show, but that's going to be coming next week, so you better get ready. Steel yourselves. This is the announcement of the announcement. But now, here's an announcement that is announcing what it actually is. We're going to try something really, really fun next week. It's on the 17th of December. I'm going to be putting myself out there for all to ask questions of in Google Hangout. I invite all of you to come. Obviously, some people will be able to join by video. Others will be able to join by chat. Consider it something like an AMA, but it's happening with video in real time. And I encourage you all to come, because there's many things I haven't had a chance to talk about all year long, and this might be just a dandy opportunity. You know, what the year was like in games, what I think maybe is the best game of the year, and new trends that seem to be happening, just like what we just talked about with The Walking Dead. So go to either youtube.com/rev3games to check it out, or you can go to our Google Hangout page, and that's where all the fun stuff is going to be happening. This is going to be at 4 p.m. on Tuesday the 17th, and of course that is 4 p.m. on Pacific time, so that would make it 7 p.m. out there on the East Coast. So just say, hey Mom, Dad, I don't need to do dinner tonight, I have to hear what Adam says. We'll be giving you more information as time goes on. Please follow me on Twitter at AdamSessler, and I'll give you all of the updates.